Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin ti naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination, maybe even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants here. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos Beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand, right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week, instead of doing a real estate roundtable like I had planned, I'm going to concentrate on what's going down in paradise during the COVID-19 crisis. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we can help our friends down there make it through the pandemic. But before we get to that, let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 9th of April, 2020. Puerto Vallarta is on lockdown, as is most of the world at this time due to the coronavirus. The time change finally came on Sunday. Finally, daylight savings time came and pushed the clocks forward an hour. But during the voluntary quarantine, pretty much nobody noticed. And it did change, however. Whether you noticed or not, you'll get that hour back in October. Anyway, maybe in November. I don't know. When is it? Whatever. The Malecon and the beach were closed, have been closed to folks, although every once in a while we do see some there enjoying a little sun out there. Anyway, everybody has been told to stay at home, and by the way, I hope all of you are doing well. I hope nobody in your family has been stricken with the COVID-19 virus. That would be awful. And anyway, just please stay safe and follow the rules. And like I said last week, just wash your hands, right? The sooner this is past us, of course, the sooner we, all of us, can return to Puerto Vallarta. And in the meantime, I think that it's important that you reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, make a phone call. You know, it's important to talk to people. So don't forget your neighbors, especially the ones that are living at home all alone. Don't forget them. And most of all, just remember to be kind and encourage one another, and we'll all get through this together. So, you know, call me if you want to. You need somebody to talk with. Seriously, I'm listed. All right, so back to Mexico. Orders came down from the governor of Jalisco, Enrique Alfaro, back on the 1st of April. This is regarding Jalisco's fight against the virus. His directive was as follows. Number one, starting at 7 p.m. today, that was on the 1st, supervision work begins to comply with the social isolation measures in Jalisco. The city councils and the state government will enforce the decree that prevents work outside of essential activities. Number two, construction, electronics, mining are some of the prohibited activities. 3 activities with high labor demand in Jalisco. Construction and electronics will be reviewed more closely because the federal government did not clarify this. Number 3, there is not, nor will there be, for the time being, a curfew. It is a call to responsibility. It's expected, but not to reach curfew, said Alfaro. Street markets and markets will be allowed, yes, but only for the sale of food. Number 5, industries that do not stop and comply with the decree will have economic sanctions and closure. Only those that sell essential food and household items will be allowed to open. Number 6, they will close non-essential businesses that they work. The inspections will be made by the municipalities with the support of the Ministry of Labor. Number 7, restaurants, groceries, supermarkets, street markets, OXXOs. Those are permitted. They are essential activities. Number 8, clothing, toys, leisure are not commercial activities. They are not allowed. They're taking away the toys. Okay, they took them away here too. Number 9, today the closings begin at 7 p.m. in Jalisco. Number 10, people who want to go on vacation to the shores of Jalisco, to the magical towns, or the mountain destinations have to know that strong restriction measures will be taken for Puerto Vallarta, other municipalities, spas, among other tourist centers. 11, they are reviewing how to make control points with the National Guard and the federal police for highway access to Jalisco and to shield access to the state. Number 12, it was agreed that employees will make the efforts so that jobs are not lost in the state. Number 13, everything is going to be done by the companies to take care of workers and not to lose their source of income. Number 14, the respectful appeal from the government, IP, and unions to the Mexican president to reconsider their support for the IP to face this circumstance. And number 15, starting at 7 p.m., that is 24 hours after the agreement that the governor announced today, the municipalities begin with the review of establishments that cannot operate as part of the health emergency. And I have a link to that in the show notes so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on in Jalisco. So far to date, there are 2,800 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Mexico and 141 deaths in all of Mexico. And according to local health authorities, it's been confirmed that we've seen the first 2 coronavirus-related deaths in Puerto Vallarta. One was a 30-year-old man and another 72-year-old man. Both were timeshare promoters with Vidante selling timeshares at the Shark Tank in the airport. The first had underlying issues of obesity and hypertension. The second also underlying hypertension, which contributed to the deadly result. And speaking of timeshares and Vidante, according to this article, TVO Bahia Noticias, April 2nd, Vidante begins massive layoffs. More than 4,000 workers were dismissed, construction workers, administrative, and operational personnel, some with as many as 15 years of service to the company. These people many of them were just notified with an email or a phone call, and lines of the newly laid off formed over at the offices of Vidante, where they collected their last paychecks, and they signed off their termination forms. And now reports of layoffs as well over at Vallarta Adventures. They basically did the same thing with its employees, many of them also with 15 years of service. So very sad. We're going to see what's going to happen when things finally get back to normal. And really, we really want things to get back to normal sooner than later, don't we? Just for the sake of these hardworking Mexicans. Now, Melissa Canes, one of our favorite folks over at one of our favorite orphanages here on the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show, Corazon de Niña, is in need of help. Let me read from her email that she sends out. By the way, if you want to get on our email list, I have a link to that. You can get signed up for that, and I'll have that in the show notes as well, so you can be on her list. But here is what she writes. She says, as we face the global health crisis, we want to take time to say thank you for being a supportive friend of your Corazon de Niña family. Because of you, we are able to shelter and transform the lives of over 100 girls and boys, from hopeless victims to self-confident, independent adults. Despite all that's happening, the children are thankfully all healthy and upbeat at this time. We're not going anywhere except shopping and or medical appointments at this time. In order to keep our home and children safe from the COVID-19, we're taking all precautions seriously and join together to keep our family healthy, prioritizing cleaning, disinfecting, sanitizing, and personal hygiene within the home at all times and in all areas. We have huge sanitation expenses, including installation of additional hand sanitizer units, more antibacterial gel and soap of every kind, and efforts to step up hygiene in the house, face masks, gloves, vitamin C, oil of oregano and eucalyptus, more vitamin C enriched fruit. And at this time, no one is showing any signs of sickness. But should this change, we will follow our strict protocol to separate and treat individuals with professional diagnosis and recommended treatments. Now, although we don't like to admit it, today we're feeling particularly vulnerable. We are concerned that the problem may be bigger than the virus itself. Will be the fact that thousands of people have been laid off and there is no government plan or support in place to help them with food. People will do whatever it takes to feed their families. Businesses are boarded up, and people have already been approaching us asking for food. We're putting extra locks on the doors this week and using extra caution when leaving the house. Now, here's some of the 5 top critical things that they need in the future. They need vitamin C, oil of oregano drops, antibacterial gel and liquid hand soap, toilet paper and paper towels, feminine hygiene, diapers size 4, and formula as well. They need fruits and cheese, shredded cheese, skim milk, tuna, cream, ham, chicken, you name it. Now, Corazon de Niña receives no government aid and is solely dependent on private donations, fundraising tours, and events which were canceled early this year, creating a significant shortfall in our annual income. And in addition, we're experiencing negative COVID effects with cancellations of some major monthly support, including diminishing fresh food donations. The tripling of our annual health insurance premiums has meant that we're unable to renew. Where we would normally have a savings for this sort of eventuality, this year we do not, which is why we really need your help. Now she lists some of their average monthly costs. Feeding the family cost 70,000 pesos. The clothes and shoes, 35,000 pesos. Cleaning and personal hygiene, 30,000. Utilities, 35,000. So they need some help. You can make a one-time crisis donation, and I have a link here in the show notes. During these immensely challenging times, please consider making a one-time crisis donation. Please contact us at donations@corazondenina.mx. I have that link in the show notes, so check it out. Now, also, I've been working on a project with Corazon de Niña. It was suggested by a listener Patricia. She got in touch with me a couple months ago. She suggested that I put together a video that she can distribute to charities and organizations that just might be interested in what Melissa is doing over at Corazon de Niña. And I am going to have that finished pretty soon. And when I do, I'm going to let all of you know. So until then, give what you can give. They really, really need your help. And when that other thing comes up, I'll let you know if any of you are interested, if you have some organizations that you belong to that you would like to introduce Corazon de Niña to and the wonderful work that they do. I'll figure a way to get that CD to you so that you can go ahead and pass it on. Now, here's a really cool idea. Café de Artistas. They're doing gift certificates. Here's their message. As you already know, we've decided to temporarily close our restaurants to support sanitary measures against the global epidemic of the COVID-19 virus. For Grupo Café Artistas, the most important thing is the health of our clients and the heart and motor of our company, our staff. We know that you and your family are now at home taking care of your health, so we offer you gift certificates for sale online to create a support fund for all of our collaborators and to cover all the fixed expenses that we're going to be having in the following days. If you have come this far, we thank you in advance for your help and support. These certificates will have a special benefit for you. In the purchase of a certificate of 400 pesos, you will obtain 500 pesos credit, and 800 pesos, you will obtain 1,000 pesos of credit to use in either Café de Artistas or in Tuna Blanca restaurants. When making your purchase, an electronic certificate with the total value will be sent to you via email. When placing your order, please be sure to verify your personal information. You must present your printed electronic certificate as proof of your purchase. The certificates will be valid for 18 months from the moment of our restaurant's reopening. Purchase promotion valid until May 30th, 2020, and this offer is not combined with any other offers, and the certificates cannot be redeemable for cash. So what a great idea, what a clever way that they have found to keep the money flowing and keeping our friends in Puerto Vallarta with a little money in their pocket. And, of course, you will be rewarded with the great dining experience when you get back and you present one of these certificates. So, way to go, Thierry. Way to go. Now, I was talking with my friend Salvador Estrada, the Candyman on the Malecon. He tells me that Semana Santa has pretty much been canceled. We'll see what that looks like when it happens. No beach activities. They have roadblocks set up in Sayulita. I saw one that they have a roadblock down over in Boca de Tomatlan to keep out people. So very interesting what's going on there. So how is your checker at your corner supermarket doing? How is he or she doing? Well, mine's doing great, although now he's positioned behind some plastic spit shield that they set up there. Dwayne says that he's going to buy a Tesla when this is all over. So, go Dwayne. Well, as you know, if you listened last week, we had Jimmy Plouff on, and he was talking about how Puerto Vallarta's grocery store baggers, who are all seniors and work, on tips only, they were told to stay home and shelter in place. They were sent home, and therefore, they had no money, and they were going hungry. So, Jimmy and Frankie did something pretty wild. They've also gotten a lot of help from Francie Nguyen from Bonita Kitchen and Ramen Ya and Bonito Cafe fame. Anyway, this is pretty exciting what they're doing and what they've done. So let's go right now to Puerto Vallarta, Rio de Plata 379 in Colonia Lopez Mateos, and let's visit with Jimmy Plouff of Tunnel Road BBQ. Or is it still Tunnel Road BBQ? Let's see what's going on. All right. So last we left, we were collecting money for dispenses, and now what's going on here, Jimmy? You changed the name of your place?
Yeah, we've decided to turn the restaurant into a food bank, which Vallarta needs more than a barbecue joint, I think, on a permanent basis. I think we're working with the DIF has an attorney for us, going to get us SA paperwork, which is kind of like a 501c in the U.S. It's a charity organization. So we're going to be Vallarta Food Bank.
You're going to be, and you're planning on having this be a permanent thing?
Yes, sir.
That's very good. All right. So how are people going to be able to get your money? How's that done?
Well, right now we're using the PayPal account, VallartaFoodBank@gmail.com, all together, all lowercase. And then there's also a GoFundMe, which is linked on our Facebook page there for Vallarta Food Bank. We're no longer updating the Tunnel Road BBQ page. We're hoping everybody will kind of take their little like and go on over to Vallarta Food Bank and like our new page, because it wouldn't let me merge the two into one and keep everybody over there so that we can keep everybody updated. But we made the new page because it's not set up as a business page. It's set up as a charity organization page.
Okay. All right. So is there a preference, the Gmail or the GoFundMe?
The GoFundMe is great for, a couple of weeks from now, we cash that in, and that'll give us a chunk to operate on for the foreseeable future, hopefully. But it goes really fast. We're, on average, we've been going through 10 to 20,000 pesos a day. It is expensive to feed a lot of people. Yeah, and even feeding them cheap, it is very expensive.
And you're able to get that at bulk, I understand, yes?
Yes. We've actually gone, because of our partnership with the DIF, we're able to buy things from their suppliers who supplies them. When they buy bulk food, and they get a great price. So because we work through them, we've been hooked up with their suppliers. So instead of paying 26 pesos a kilo for sugar, we're now paying 8 pesos a kilo for sugar through the DIF supplier, because we're under the DIF charitable organizations and so on.
Wow,
so we're able to save a lot of money. So what I'm telling people is, if you've got food to bring over, that's great, but money can go a lot further. We can buy a lot more, sugar or rice or whatever at the prices we're buying it at, because we're buying it, truckloads at a time now.
Wow, that's wonderful. Okay, so now how do you go about packaging that and getting it all ready to distribute? How's that done?
Well, we've been borrowing a scale from the lady with the little store across the street from where the restaurant was there, and she lends us her big, metal scale thing that they use in the little stores to weigh things out. And we put a bag on there, and we fill it full of 1 kilo of rice or 1 kilo of beans or 1 kilo of sugars. We buy a roll of bags, and between us and the volunteers that we've been having, we bag lots and lots of beans and rice and sugar and oatmeal and you name it.
And then how long will one of these dispensas last? Like a family of, what do you make them up for? Family of 4?
That's what we've been doing, but that's about to change a little bit. And I'll get to that here in a minute. No, we've been trying to make them for about a week's worth of food for, family, average family of 4.
Okay.
If they got a couple more people in the family and we can verify that, then we'll throw a few more things in. But most of the time, it's we're kind of figuring on an average. Some families are 2 people, so that'll go a little further for them, and not quite as far for people with 6 people. But what we've got is a big update from DIF. There's a lot of organizations here in town trying to feed folks right now. I get it; it's cool. But what they've asked is for every one of those people, the DIF is starting up a new program to feed folks, and they need everybody to be on the same page. That's what they've asked. They've asked us to put out the information. The mayor is supposed to make the announcement either tonight or tomorrow morning, daytime sometime. I'm not sure when he's going to do it, but it's in the next 24 hours. He'll announce the program and how it's going to work. The city is committed to feed 7,500 families. The DIF, that normally feeds 2,000 families, has committed to feed 1,500 more. So 3,500 families out of the DIF. And then they've asked us to take care of the senior population, and that's another 1,000 families.
Wow.
So their plan is here by Monday, they will have it online and rolling in some form or fashion. They're going to set up 20 dispensa distribution centers. They're going to be in every neighborhood or very close to, where 3 neighborhoods cross or whatever. So they're setting up food dispensa distribution centers. What you have to do to get involved in that program is they're going to have a telephone number, a website, and you can go in person to the DIF and apply for a month of food at a time. And what it'll be is it'll be for the duration of this. So when people start going back to work and stuff, it'll kind of, it'll spin down. But they're spinning this thing up for the long haul. They're thinking maybe this will go, till August. So they're preparing to feed people that long. I think, Frankie, you said it was 6 months?
4 months so far.
4 months so far, and, with the hope that we don't have to do it that long, but the more we can encourage people to stay home, the better. So they're going to set up these 20 different distribution centers, and the DIF is going to run those centers. The city's going to run their own set, but it's all going to be run through DIF. So if they need food, they can go to the DIF, and it costs nothing. They can, and we'll have all the information as soon as the DIF is ready to put it out. We'll put out the website. We'll put out the telephone number. We'll tell them which location they need to go to apply. It should be one of the local distribution centers that is close to them. They should be able to walk to it. So they will be able to get into this program and go pick up a month of food at a time. So, and it'll be case by case. So if they have 8 people in their household, they'll get, instead of 1 bag of rice, they'll get 8 bags of rice and 8 bags of beans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, sure.
So that way they're going to, they've got an army of social workers that they've mobilized. And some of them belong to the DIF. The other ones are being trained by the DIF. And there are some of the municipal workers. They're going to send all the, because everybody says, well, how are they going to evaluate everybody that needs food in a timely manner? Well, all these municipal workers that have been furloughed are still being paid. So what they're going to do instead is train them and send them out to go do they call it a socioeconomic study. So basically to find out if that person needs it, or if they have a disability, do they need a walker, a cane, whatever. They're going to evaluate their situation and supply them based on that.
All right.
So they are spinning up big time.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So if somebody who is listening now has a friend who needs some help, basically I'll have that information on in the show notes as soon as you get that as well. So just remember to go to Vallarta Food Bank and like the page, and you'll get all those updates as well. But I'll have those in the show notes too. What about people who want to volunteer and help you on the ground with delivery and getting everything prepared?
They can message the page. As far as delivery goes, the DIF has committed to, because they're just trucking to the distribution centers, and then those centers will, the able-bodied will walk there. They're going to handle getting it to the people that can't get to the distribution centers. But for us, we're handling 1,000 families out of the Vallarta Food Bank, and they're lending us their logistics, their trucks, their drivers, and they're going to go deliver it to the day centers for the old folks in those areas where they are.
Got it.
So luckily, we're not going to have to deliver. I mean, I'm talking the entire municipality of Vallarta. If you look at it on a map like we have, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's actually quite a bit of area, and it's very populated. So they're going to supply all those points and get it to the people that need it. And the real important thing to remember is, whether you're a national or not, this is for everybody. It's not specific to Mexicans. If you're out there, you live here, and you don't have food, you can also apply for this program and get food. They're going to come to your house. They're going to do a socioeconomic study to see that you really can't afford to buy food and you have nothing in the pantry, and then they're going to send you food. So this doesn't just apply to, they're not delivering food, but they're going to send a dispenser in your, with your name on it basically to the distribution center, and you can go pick that up.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's for everybody. That doesn't matter who it is. If you're hungry, they're going to try and make sure to get you some food.
Well, that's very heartening to know, because we all have a lot of friends there that aren't making any money now. And who knows when that's going to start up again. So that's fantastic.
Right. Because that means that, and it doesn't matter your status, I believe. We asked that question, and we're kind of given, look, if you're hungry, we'll feed you. It didn't say, well, only if you have, this or that or the other. They may do a little finger wagging, but they're still not going to let you go hungry.
Yeah. Wow.
And if they can't help you, we can. So come see us, and we'll figure it out with you.
Excellent. All right.
But my biggest thing is, and the biggest thing is if you want to help your neighbors, you want to help your friends. One, you can send us some money so we can keep the food bank sending out, quality food. And because we're doing this, out of what we've been given for the food bank. So when we run out of money, we run out of food.
Right.
And we're responsible right now, starting Monday, for 1,000 families. So we're really hoping. People have been incredibly generous. We're really happy. We're really tired. We spent the past 2 or 3 days talking to Candelaria about it, and man, they have been burning the candle at both ends. Think about spinning up to feed over 11,000 people for a month at a time and doing it all in a week.
Yeah.
You know, distribution centers, logistics, finding the amount of food that you're going to need. It's unreal what they've done. And, there's other people in town, and we actually talked to some people in Cinco de Diciembre today that were told by their sector leader, I don't know what that is, the DIF doesn't know what it is, that they weren't to go to the DIF, that they were go to a local resource in that neighborhood. You should absolutely go to the DIF. You should absolutely seek out their help. She said, well, they told us they want too many things. They want an ID and a proof of address. That's it. They want to know who you are and that you actually live here and that you didn't come from 3 states over to get food.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go.
DIF will go help you. They're not going to want that much from you, but yes, you do have to go and you do have to apply.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Right.
I mean, shit, you got to bring more stuff to the DMV.
I'm sure you do.
You know?
Sure you do.
But if you want a meal, DIF is not going to let you starve. If you truly need it, they're going to get you food.
Yeah. Well, excellent. All right. So
we're filling the gaps for right now because it does take them a little while to spin this up and work all the kinks out. But they're in it to win it. So, they're going to try and feed just as many as they can, and what they can't, I'm hoping to make up the difference.
Excellent. All right. So let's keep that money coming, right?
Absolutely. Like what DIF and the city can't do, we're hoping to make up the difference and fill in the gaps because it has to happen. People are going to be hungry. People are going to be desperate. DIF and the city are going to do all they can. The city, I know, has cut their staff's pay in order to fund this to the maximum amount possible. And they're setting up these 20 distribution centers. They're going to be online by Monday. Can you imagine setting that up in a week?
Wow.
And being functioning by Monday?
Well, it's almost imperative that they do that. So it's a good thing that they've got that together. Amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, and they're preparing to go from dispensas to hot meals. They're going to make that transition probably in about 2 weeks when the folks that can't afford to eat can't afford to buy gas cylinders either.
Right, good point.
So that's going to start happening as well. And that's, again, where Vallarta Food Bank is hopefully going to be filling in the gaps. We're going to take the old Tunnel Road BBQ kitchen, and we're going to get in there and we're going to cook rice, and we're going to cook beans, and we're going to cook some hot meals, and we're going to put them out as fast as we can.
Wow.
And we're not going to try and serve that institutional food. We might actually use some seasoning. I might put a little salt and pepper in that bad boy. Watch out.
Look out. People will start getting used to your great cooking, and you never know.
Well, I mean, we're doing that for this, and I'm hoping to kind of keep it as like a soup kitchen after for the people that just can't afford to cook or can't afford to go get a meal. I want to make sure that everybody's got food. I want to, I know I can't end world hunger and I can't feed every soul on the ground here, but we're going to damn well try. And with people supporting us, I'm hoping we can carry on doing this just as long as it needs to happen until nobody here is hungry. But that's the goal. That's the end goal. And I gotta pop in for a minute and give a big shout out to Francie from Bonito Kitchen. She has been just a beast behind the keyboard pushing this thing. Without her, we wouldn't be able to do all the things that we've done. I think within a day or two of us spinning up, she contacted us and said, hey, can I help? Can I, start a GoFundMe? Can I do some PayPaling? And she jumped on the wagon, and she has been driving the Facebook page, and she's been driving the GoFundMe and answering the messages. And I'm telling you, that soaks up a lot of our time. Putting the pictures on there and telling the story behind them. She has been behind that keyboard doing all that work. And, I want to make sure she gets credit. She has been just beast mode behind the keyboard and making this happen. without her, we couldn't do nearly as much as we do.
Fantastic. Yeah, she is. She's great. What can you say? You're all great.
Well, I mean, we're okay, and we're doing what we can, but man, we couldn't do as much as we've done without her help, because she's coordinated volunteers. She's, and that's what I tell people. If you want to volunteer, message the page and she'll set you up. Because we know what we need when we need it. We tell her, hey, we need 2 on this day, 4 on that day. And she sets it up. And there's a lot of good hearts out there, people wanting to come and do that. What we will tell you is, please, if you can, bring masks and gloves with you, because we don't have a lot of them to go around. If we have to supply you with one, we can, but they're in very short supply. So if you have one already, please bring it. We'll put you to work. We've got people that, weigh out bags of rice and beans and oatmeal and sugar and, write on all the packages and make sure the right things are going in the bags. And that's all very, very helpful. But she's been driving that, and that is, between me and Frankie and her family, we put out, 60 dispensas and put them together in a day. Yeah. And put them out. And with 2 volunteers and her family, we were able to push 160 out in a day.
Wow.
So I'm talking about sheer capacity. We can do so much more because she's in the background doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. Frees you up to do the other important stuff, which is the real important stuff.
They're both equally as important, but they're very different. We're out there on the ground doing the thing on the front line, but you still got to have that support in the rear to make things happen. Because, it's like we said in the Army, somebody's got to provide the beans, bullets, and Band-Aids, otherwise the war fighters don't fight. So she's absolutely the backbone of this thing.
Well,
Frankie's been working real hard. She's been on the Facebook page all day and responding to messages. And there's a lot of hungry people messaging the Facebook page right now and contacting us and calling us and writing us. And we want to help everybody. We're trying really hard, and we're hoping that we'll be able to do more here real soon. The GoFundMe monies, man, that's floored me. That's blown me away. That's a lot of money. And I'm hoping that'll get us through this. And then on in the next season, we'll be able to keep it up. Because I honestly, I think Vallarta's not going to be right back how it was immediately. It's going to be a different place when the lights come back on.
Yep. It's going to take a little time for things to pick up again. All right. Well, we will talk again soon, maybe even next week. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we'll keep coming on and giving you the weekly update, and you keep getting the word out to folks, because that's really, really helpful, man. The more help we got and the more we got coming in, the more we can do. And I know it's hard for me to even say it, but money is the driving force behind this thing. The more money we have, the more beans we buy. And the more people we can feed. We're getting some of the best prices in town because of DIF, so I think we're able to make those pesos go farther than just about any other place here. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really feel like we're getting some killer prices on stuff because of them, and we're able to do a whole lot more with a whole lot less.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been seeing the cartloads of stuff that you guys are buying, so yeah, I can attest to that.
That was
you
from
guys
Costco.
Are doing great. Oh.
A lot of that stuff was from Costco, but now we've got the DIF bulk supplier. They bring in big box trucks from Guadalajara, so
wow.
If we need to buy a pallet of rice, we can get a pallet of rice.
Oh, that's
it's killer.
This is big time. This is big time.
Oh yeah, we've gotten to the point where the car just can't handle it. And we're hoping somebody will just drop off a truck for us to use, but until then, we're trying to get stuff delivered, and where we can't, we'll go and pack the crap out of the car and make it happen.
All right, my man. Well, we'll talk to you next week. Wonderful what you all are doing. And give, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Now, I've been told that a bunch of you have already given. In fact, the GoFundMe is now upwards of $40,000 US, with a total of $50,000. So, thanks for all you've given so far. And really, they need the money to keep coming. The need is every day is getting more and more intense. People are getting hungry. So the people that are depending on Frankie and Jimmy and Francie are also depending on you, right? They need the money to help these people get through this difficult time. Now, the dollar is strong against the peso, so it's going to go even farther right now. If you can do it, get over there and do what you can. I have links to all that, by the way, in the show notes for that GoFundMe. Go check it out. And then next week, we're going to talk to Jimmy again for another update. Dude needs a microphone. Now, Pam Thompson Webb of PV Health Resources has a group of volunteers sewing protective masks for the healthcare workers in Puerto Vallarta. Let me read from her post dated March 30th. Over the next few days, I hope to post photos of our sewing folks. Here are a couple to start. Someone delivers batches to San Javier, then all are sterilized at San Javier and packaged in packs of 10. Today I gave a bunch to nurses at IMSS, left a bunch for ISSTE, sent many to Hospital San Pancho, and as always, 2 giant packages for Regional Hospital. As the masks are made, we will repeat the sequence over and over and over. Tomorrow I will be in touch with more nurses that work in the public center. And sheets. The Hilton has donated many sheets. Also, many of you out there in Facebook land are donating, and we are working on the pickups. Shortly, the other items will begin being distributed to the public sector, including patient gowns, disposable scrubs, disposable gowns for physicians and nurses. So please, when you send thank yous, it's most certainly not just me, Rabina Oliver, Jeremy Satterfield, Carolyn Kalitz, Casey Adams-Binstad, and so many more that I'll introduce you to over Facebook over the next few days. Thank you, everyone who have assisted, and remember, you can donate via Rabina. And I have the contact information for Rabina in the show notes as well, so you can donate to help protect the healthcare workers in Paradise, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Now, it's really nice, isn't it, to see so many of our friends helping in all these efforts. There's Rabina, Pam Thompson, Sylvie. Sylvie's actually delivering face masks all around from her motorcycle. And, of course, Jimmy Plouff and Frankie and Francie Nunez and just so many of our Puerto Vallarta Travel Show friends are involved in helping this town when the chips are down. It's really, really cool. Now, make sure that you all remember your Vallarta friends. Look for your Mexican friends on Facebook. Reach out to them. If they're hungry, send them right to the food bank or send them something via MoneyGram, whatever you can do. In the meantime, just make sure that you all take care of yourselves. Stay well. Slow down. Be kind and positive. And most of all, love one another, really. Okay, that should do it for this week. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, hopefully, great restaurant excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember, this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com, that's JR's website, and reserve your tour right from him, right through his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you're going to use someone else, so do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, he's got his maps, his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour board, and more. And I have links to all of those in the show notes. And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and give me a good review on iTunes if you would. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with every episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, where have you been? You really need to go there. Have a look. I have links to the places that we talk about, interesting pictures, and more right there in my blog posts and in the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. Thank you to Jimmy Plouff and Frankie Victoria from Vallarta Food Bank. Thanks for all you're doing. And thank you, Francie from Bonita Kitchen. Hey, make sure that you send that GoFundMe money. And remember, if you're still in town, they are doing takeout over at Bonita Kitchen. It's fresh, it's delicious, it's very sanitary. I have all the information in the show notes as well. And thanks to you mask makers out there. Keep sewing, keep making those masks for all those workers, all those medical workers in Puerto Vallarta. Make sure you send money to Rubina. I have her email address there, and make sure you get in contact with her, okay? And remember, you guys, call me. Call me if you need somebody to talk to. I'm here for you. I really mean it. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for all of you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
De Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino, perno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río, cuando todo está en calma, pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta.